Hi, this is Cynthia Horner from Right On Digital, and
Hello, Cynthia. Sorry.
hi, I'm so happy to get to connect with you. I think that you are just wonderful in The Sky Is Everywhere. So why don't we talk about your
Oh,
character?
thank you. Let's talk. Let's talk about characters. What would you like to know?
Well, what was it like portraying your character? And then after that, I want to ask you about your hair.
um, it was a really cathartic experience playing Joe. I enjoyed every moment, even the really challenging ones. Um, there were lessons in every scene, right? But I think in particular, what initially drew me to the script in the project was many things, but namely Josephine Decker and her creative vision, and then also getting to play a musician that really makes his art with his heart and speaks his truth and is about his joy. Um, I've played a lot of serious roles, so this was a refreshing experience to jump into somebody that's really celebrating life.
Well, that's great. You were so magnetic on the screen. I could definitely see why you get all this work. But
Hey,
you also
thank
you
you.
also have a great look. And let's talk
Well,
about
shoot.
your hair for a second because your hair is just really awesome.
This hat hair right here.
Well, it's a little flatter at the moment. It's a little bigger on the screen.
That's true. That's true. I got big hair in the movie, and it felt great. And Josephine was insistent that my big hair make the movie. And I've had big like the hair, the length in that movie was something that I carried pretty much from high school forward. So you know, it was really a treat to for her to just like facilitate letting me do my thing.
Yeah, so
Um,
she embraced your hair.
she
Yeah.
did, she did, she did.
Now,
Absolutely.
now I love the movie. Even though there were some sad moments in it, what
Right.
would you say are some of the takeaways from this particular project? Because it involves
Ooh.
grief, and that's not necessarily a subject matter that is talked about much in films that are for a younger audience. So, can you address that for a minute?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that uh, particularly within Western society, Western culture, right, we meet grief with a sense of real tragedy and loss. And oftentimes, when somebody um, is meets an untimely demise, that is the case. And I feel like this movie encourages everybody to feel that grief deeply. And I think that Joe, in particular, is somebody that's able to work through Lenny's grief by showing up for her and also, in reaction, celebrate life with her. Because our lives are temporary. We don't stay here forever. Eventually, we return back from where we came from. And when somebody returns too soon, um, especially when they're young and their friends are going through puberty, they're experiencing a real oeuvre of what it is to come of age. That can get sticky, that can get messy. But this movie encourages people to move through it together and
Mhm.
for one another to build each other up.
That was a great answer. Now,
Thank
now
you.
I love what you have on at the moment. Can you talk about your personal style for 1 minute?
Oh my goodness. Well, this is Protect Kids Not Guns, a t-shirt from Change. They They're 100% organic cotton is what the label says right here. But they're they're one of my favorite brands because they put people on, and I don't mean in an influencer kind of way. They really are probably one of the more equitable corporate models I've seen in the world of fashion. A lot of the proceeds go directly to charity, which is, I think, a really important thing to note. In addition to being a cool brand, uh, and then I got some stuff on from Pira because they're all recycled metals and jewelry. Um, they did some of the stuff for like Game of Thrones and everything, but I just love silver. So and then I've got this coat on. It's by a friend of my stylist, Ton Aguilar. He has a friend that in his space by the name of Israel, and these jackets are done with dry ice dyeing. So it's a
Really?
different kind of process for dyeing material in a tie-dye sense. But yeah, it's really cool. Like they walked me through how these happen. So I picked this one because it felt like the sky and the roses and all of the themes of the movie felt intertwined with the fit. So yeah.
Yeah, it
And
totally.
pearls. I'm doing more pearls.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and that coat definitely fits in with what the whole concept of the movie is about. Now tell me, what is your favorite scene that you can talk about that won't spoil anything for people who have not seen it?
Ooh, um,
'Cause
I
I have a
think,
favorite scene, but I don't think I should mention it because I think
is it
it's
a spoiler
probably,
alert?
yeah.
Uh-oh, okay. Well, we'll have to offline about that one. But you can tell me about it later, but in that case. But I feel like my favorite scene is the scene for me that epitomizes the joy that Joe brings to the table with Lenny. Um, and well, here's the thing. I feel like there's two favorite scenes. One is this scene with Joe and Lenny when he's trying to convince her to play music, right? And
Mhm.
so that was an original composition that was arranged by the composer who just listened to me improvise on guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was 16, and then he made this whole medley based on what his ear was picking up.
Wow.
And so there was a musicality to that was like a culmination of a lot of years of me playing musically, and so that felt rewarding to be able to do that on screen in the live. And I don't know if they used production audio or not, but it sounded like that was actually my playing in the movie, which was cool because I
Oh,
spent hours with all of my instruments every day. And yeah, then there, you know, you've seen the movie, so I don't want to give it away. But then something happens shortly after that conversation where they end up listening to music and some beautiful visual elements unfold. And I felt like between the music and the dancers, the theatricality that Josephine brings to the table, the cinematography of the moment, they all merged at this beautiful juncture in that scene. So I felt like you know, that was Josephine and her direction and her element in full rare form. And like, that was dope to experience because I think, um, yeah, she is such an incredibly talented director. Um,
yeah,
and the,
she is.
yeah, and the other scene I have to say is between Graham and Lenny when they're tearing up the house and you know, they come around and
Mhm.
and you know I've been waiting for that when I watched the movie. So not to give too much away, but that moment is really special for me to see two um, women from entirely different generations coming together to celebrate and see each other. That's
Okay.
special.
Well, I want to thank you for this interview for Right on Digital and tell us how we can find you on social media.
Just my first and last name. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm real active on Twitter. Just Jacques Colimon. That's me. Hit me
Okay.
up. I'm around.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Right
Okay.
on.
Bye
You
bye.
too.